Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ladies of Sosa podcast. My name is Sahra.
And my name is Christine. Today we have a collab happening with a very special podcast, the Can I Be Real podcast. And we're so honored to have them in the building. Janet and I were on their podcast last week and we did like a collab. So today we are here to finish up that conversation, especially on the heels of Valentine's Day, which was just yesterday. We want to continue our conversation from last week. So let's go ahead and introduce the Can I Be Real podcast.
I'll go first.
Go for it. Go say it.
I'm gonna be real quick, But nah, I'm Dion, one half of the Can I Be Real podcast. I'm a husband, a father, an author, entrepreneur, all around good guy.
And you've been married for 18 years, am I correct?
This year will be 18 years.
This year will be 18 years. So really happy to have someone here that's experienced and married. Yeah.
I'm Ozzy, social media influencer, other half of Can I Be Real podcast. Anything content I do, except OnlyFans.
Okay, good.
I know that's right.
Okay, clear it up.
Yeah, and then we have some other people on the panel with us today, so I'll go ahead and let Vaida introduce herself.
Hey y'all, it's Vaida. Happy to be back.
Very
That's
fun.
it. No, why do y'all always let the pause go? Y'all know it's gonna be short and sweet every time.
Okay.
Just
we love you,
Vaida.
Vaida. We're happy to have you back.
Hey y'all, Janet here. Happy to be back. And yeah, let's get this episode going. I'm excited to get back into it.
Amanual Lee, Amanual_comedy on Instagram and Amanual on every other social media platform. Yeah, you know what it is.
What's good, y'all? I'm Dan, Moneyman Dan, 214. Moneyman Dan 214, Instagram, TikTok. Do little skits, stand up, all that funny stuff. That's me. So,
And today's his birthday, guys. So everybody tell him happy birthday.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, but I guess I want to bring it back to the Can I Be Real podcast. Like, what is y'all's podcast about? What do y'all talk about on there?
Real topics, real conversation, real people. Plain and simple. Like nothing like fabricated, nothing edit and revise. We like to have real conversations about real life events because we feel like most podcasts that we didn't watch, everybody try to get watered down with celebrity influence. So every conversation gets basic, but nobody really has like real conversations from shit like entrepreneurs. Damn, can I cuss?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, fuck all that. But we just want to have real conversations. You know what I'm saying? Give people real perspective.
And how long have y'all been doing y'all podcast?
Shit.
This year will be 3 years. This year.
Whoa, I thought it was 2. That's crazy.
December will be 3 years. So we just hit 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this marks the first month of the third.
Yeah, and I feel like I was even telling Sarah, like after we did the podcast, because she didn't come to that one, how much I just learned from watching how y'all ran y'all podcast, which was different than ours. And obviously y'all have more experience than us. So it was just like a thought, like, for creators, like be around other people who are doing what you're doing, because the way y'all post like 3 times a week, and I'm like, oh my God, we need to set it up. Like y'all are just like so far ahead. So I think it's just dope to collab with other creators especially who have more experience than you. Especially as we're trying to grow.
So you guys knew each other from high school, Willy, Christine, and Janet.
Yes.
So how was that? How was going to high school together? How was y'all's relationship in high school?
Oh shit, same it is now. We was bad as hell. Yeah. Nah, but like I said, like our school was pretty much. It wasn't too much like real division. Though. I don't think it was. Like, everybody was cool with everybody.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I think playing sports too helped us like bridge that gap to where we all was cool with each other.
But Willy's exactly like the same. Like he was always like the funny, cool person. Like it's the same. We just got older and matured. So it's just crazy that it's been over 10 years. Like, we ain't got. Yeah, we don't got
to put the numbers out there.
But say what it is.
It's okay.
Decade.
A whole decade. Y'all do the math. Yeah. I love
don't
it.
do the math.
Right.
Don't do the math.
I love it.
Graduating class of 2012.
It's not important.
I already shot out there.
Brush up.
So I guess Christine told me that you guys had a conversation about like entrepreneurship and like I guess managing a relationship with being an entrepreneur. And I guess where we come into play is our podcast. Now that we are the owners of this podcast, is like a full business for us. has now become like a thing that we have to juggle with our personal, not only just our personal lives and our regular 9-to-5s, but it's also like the ladies of Sosa. We have to incorporate that into our everyday like endeavors, because even during the week we get emails, we get people asking if they can be a part, and somebody has to handle like the admin and the podcast, the editing. Christine does the editing, I edit the teaser. So it's like how to manage all of that and still have a healthy relationship. So it really is relevant to our lives as well.
So that was the controversy. I think we had started off debating whether it was feasible to be able to like have your business or whatever project it is you're working on and maintain a successful relationship at the same time. That's kind of what we're going back and forth on. Yeah. And I know Mozzie was saying that he didn't necessarily believe that it would be in your best interest to juggle a relationship while building a business. And I know you're full-time with your thing, so maybe it's a little different for you, but I would love for you to kind of reiterate whatever it is you were saying last time.
Listen, stay single, kings. No, bullshit. No, but I just think it's a lot of sacrifice that comes with having to put into a relationship, especially if you're starting a relationship and you've already been in your entrepreneurship field. It's hard to water something when you already have something that's taking up so much energy. Like a business is another relationship, really. So for me, I think it'll come to a point to where you'll eventually have to choose your partner or your business, especially when you first starting out. But if you're already rocking and rolling, then it's different, you know. So
you think timing matters? Like
timing is everything.
When the relationship comes into your life, before the business, during the business, or after the business.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I think that's so interesting because Dion, which is your co-host, is married, coming up on 18 years. So I know obviously he probably has like a different opinion than you on it.
Yeah, for me, but it's like you're saying though, it's like timing too though, because when I met my wife, we were both in college, so that was a different type of grind, which is kind of like entrepreneurship, right? Anybody that went to college, you know, it's like that's hard work, dedication, day in, day out. So it's like we started out on the same level. So as we grew together, we just kept growing together. And I think that's the main thing. Like whatever point you meet someone at, like they got to just be willing to grow with you from there. Whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's just living day-to-day life. Like if they're not willing to commit, like, and that's I think the deeper part is like that commitment piece. Like, are you willing to commit with me through it all? Whether it's entrepreneurship or, you know, working on a job, because climbing that corporate ladder can be stressful also. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
Yeah. I feel like going back to the podcast, though, my thoughts are still the same after last week. But I agree.
Share. What were your thoughts?
But my thoughts, I understood where Mozzie was coming from, because it is hard where we are right now in our lives, like as adults, where you are, I guess, supposed to, by like society standards, like have your stuff together and like be ready to settle down, have kids, do all the things. And then you're chasing this dream and also trying to like balance having this relationship and build with the person. Like there could be some, I guess backlash to that, you know, trying to do two things at once. But I do also understand what Dion was, where he was coming from in terms of starting out with someone. I think it's easier to be in partnership and have those dreams and goals, and you guys work together on that, rather than this is my stuff over here, and then I'm bringing you along with me, trying to navigate doing both.
Yeah.
So, but I was kind of like Team Mozzie, stay single, queens, get in your bag, chase your dream. So that's where I'm at right now in my stage of my life. So that's why I felt like I resonated more with what he was coming from. I
just think like if you look at like an entrepreneur, right? If you work a 9-to-5, there's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. You can have a great living with a 9-to-5 if that's your lane. But if you look at a 9-to-5, for the most part, you get off days, you get holiday pay, you get PTO. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't get that. Ain't no clock out at 5 o'clock. Especially when you first start out. Every minute counts. Every holiday matters. When people are spending Christmas on with family, or you clocking out your job at 5 p.m. on a Monday, entrepreneurs, they not clocking out till 10 o'clock at night. So, you know what I'm saying? How can you dedicate, okay, I'm just now meeting this woman, she wants to go on dates, this, that, and the third, but I got a whole business that's taking time and energy. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to feel neglected but I have a purpose that I can't neglect too, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it.
No, I respect that. I was gonna ask you because I noticed entrepreneurs always have 2 phones. Is that like a thing?
Oh.
Hey, man, listen. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
Kinda
Something like
suspicious.
that. So like,
I have a question for Mazi. So like, is that kind of like the life you chose for yourself? Like being an entrepreneur, like when does it end? Like when does the hustle, I don't want to say stop, but when are you able to like start to realize, okay, now I can balance, having a relationship, starting a family, stuff like that?
I think that's a question that hasn't been really answered for me, if you ask me, because entrepreneur, you don't rely on the safety of a retirement plan or 401k. So every level you cross or every goal that you hit, you have to be planning for, okay, eventually this shit will stop. Eventually whatever phase I'm in will stop. So what's my next step? Like, we don't have a safety net as an entrepreneur. So you have to always be constantly moving on your feet. So something may be working for 2 years, and next year is something completely different. Even look at the way content is made right now. Streaming is a very huge thing, which that wasn't a big deal 3 to 5 years ago. 3 to 5 years ago, you can make a video on YouTube, post it, and it's cool. But now people want to feel like they can interact with you through, oh, I'm in your chat. And it's a possibility that my favorite streamer may see that.
Right.
So people like more personal interactions now. So
don't you feel like that takes even more of you away? Like you can't just make a video and post it. You gotta like show up.
Yeah, you gotta show up. And it do take more work unless you already been grandfathered in. But if you just now starting out into the game, no, you gotta put in that same amount of effort. So I think, to answer your question, I don't think you really just have an end. I think you just kind of stop whenever you feel like it's done for you, or unless you hit a number. So for me, I have a number in my head. And so until I hit that number, then I got some work to do. But I will say I will have to find that balance though, to worry about the other things that I value and that are important. But right now I got a number in my head.
I want to ask Dion, because obviously he's married and has a family. Like, you are already doing the whole balancing act of having your family life and still doing, I don't know if you have a job outside of this, doing the podcast, having your career and still taking care of a family. So we know that it's like possible, right? So how do you kind of structure that? I know it's going to be different for you because you're a man versus the woman. Like, as a wife, you probably play a different role as a father, but how do you kind of balance it?
I'm going to be honest, and this is, my wife sacrificed her life for my life.
Oh my goodness. That's important.
Like, she really did. Like, it's like she was in college playing golf, like student government president, on her way to the top. And I stepped in, got her pregnant, and like all her hopes and dreams was like, listen, I'm going to get behind you, because I was on the verge of about to like fail out of school. She stopped going to school and got behind me. So at that point I knew like, oh, she rocking with me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, it was like, if she wouldn't have made those sacrifices for me, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I realized that early. So by her doing that, I was able to go to school, get a degree, get a good job, and take care of the family. So for me, I established like a work life first. Like I had a real career. I climbed that corporate ladder for 10 years and at the same time doing entrepreneurship. But it's a hard journey, but somebody got to make a sacrifice for me. And I think that's what it is. Two entrepreneurs coming together, it can work. But it's like, where's that time? For me, it works because my wife has her thing. She has her job, her career. She let me go off and do mine, you know what I mean? And we meet at home and we're a family. But she had to make the sacrifice in order for us to do that. As a man, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't have been able to do it. You know what I'm saying?
So your wife, she's now working.
Yeah.
She's
She's now has her career. She's insurance adjuster. She travels for a job. She loves what she do. She's like, but it took her longer because instead of getting a degree, she had to go and get like all type of licenses and take off. But it still took a lot of, brain power to get to the point to where she is. But it just took longer, for me, like once I graduated college, it was like promotion. I'm black. I'm a male. I have a college degree. I don't walk around my pants sagging. I talk different. I'm not saying, yo, my name, what's up, in an interview. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's easy. I realized that early. Like, I didn't mind being the token black guy. So it's like, it was easy for me to climb that corporate ladder. So once I seen that, I'm like, well, I'm going to take what I know over here, put it into my business. Once my wife got the buy-in from that, it just grow from there. But every situation gonna be different. But I will say somebody gonna have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's such a good point.
I'm glad you said sacrifice, because I think even from that perspective of being a woman now, I had to really come to terms with like, what am I willing to sacrifice? Like, am I willing to sacrifice building my career and going after my dreams, but that delays like getting married, having kids. Like, if I'm 60 in a rocking chair, will I look back and say, okay, I'm glad that I made that decision? Or will I be like, dang, girl, I should have had them kids and got married earlier? Yeah. But I feel like where I am right now, I'm not opposed to the balancing act of like being a wife, being a mother, going after my dreams. But I feel like it's important to understand what you're willing to sacrifice and how long you're willing to do it for.
That's a fact.
Now, am I willing to like put that off the table forever? No. So like you say, you have a number. I think for me, I have like a time frame in my life of like when I'm willing to be like, all right, I'm gonna put the girl boss hat down and I'm gonna, lock in on being more like, domesticated and be in the house, take care of the kids.
Can I ask y'all this though? Because I have a daughter. What's wrong with just being a successful single woman?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think there's nothing wrong, but society does shame women.
It shames you. Yeah, they shame you.
If you're past a certain age, you don't have a husband, you don't have kids, even if you're happy, I think you're going to get a lot of pushback.
What's wrong with her?
Yeah,
exactly.
Family.
Exactly.
Wait,
Does
society shame you, or is it like more Sudanese cultural? Because like, I'm gonna be real with you, we see successful women who are single do their thing all the time. It's just the perception of like what womanhood is through patriarchal values kind of gets fucked over when they see a woman be herself, chilling with no kids and being happy.
I don't think the world has caught up to that idea yet. You can be the most successful woman like Tracee Ellis Ross or whatever. There's a lot of women who are single, never got married, don't have kids, successful, got money, everything. People are still going to say you're a single cat. Like there's that ageism.
No matter how beautiful you are, successful.
If you're happy, if you didn't want to get married, I feel like you're still going to be judged and just look at you like something's wrong with you because
Do y'all think it's the same way for like a guy too? Like if a guy was like successful
I mean, there's something weird about it because here's the thing. Charlie Sheen, for example, right? You look at him, very unsuccessful marriages, single, doing whatever the quote unquote version of manhood would. Remember when we were looking at George Clooney? For all those years, everybody was like, why isn't George Clooney married? Why isn't George Clooney married? Everybody was looking at him sideways because a lot of the times they perceive those men as just gay. Like, you're just like...
I never heard that. But I'll say this, like men, we have a financial clock. A woman has a biological clock. Right. So it's like, for us, everything's at a time crunch because we're thinking financial provide, what can I pay for? What can I make sure is bought? And all that. A woman has a clock to where, okay, I got a time crunch to when I can, like you said, have kids, be married, start a family. Because there ain't no woman trying to be 50, busting out no kids. If that's
Janet did it. Janet did it.
Oh, she did.
Janet ain't got 200 million of them. Right. She ain't got 200 million.
But I do think that it's like it's more normalized for like what Dion said, for a woman to make a sacrifice for the man to like propel his career. But it's like, where's the sacrifice for women to propel there? So just like, where's that middle ground?
I think the trade-off is that the man will do what he say he's going to do. I think a lot of times you see the stories that the woman is behind the man. She helped him get successful, and then he leave her for a younger, whatever. You know what I mean? I think, that's real. But I think I don't want that to be my story. For me, it's like, we done built too much. Like, she sacrificed. Like, my wife is pregnant now. I'm 40. She's 37. It's like, we about to have a new baby. So it's like, we about to start over. So it's like, you know,
babies.
it's
Like-
never too late. Like you can start at any
Anytime.
time.
Yeah, that's true.
You can start
Okay.
at any time.
And there's surrogacy. Like
Yes.
we pretend like there's not other ways to have kids. Adoption is okay when you're
Yes.
older.
Yeah.
I think people have this locked in version of what familial status needs to be. And in my head, like I still respect people that don't have kids because in their head they're like, society would benefit more with me not having children. And I think those people understand
That's
Wow.
what life. Like I promise you, when I look at people who don't have kids, usually they're a lot more thoughtful when it comes to the way that they view life, and they're more giving, and they understand what they're doing. A lot of times, those people will give all their money because nobody's going to inherit their money at the end. So that's in my head. It's like I admire somebody that decides I don't want to have kids. I just want to be as productive as I can for society and get up out of here. And that's okay too. I think we get so locked in on like everybody else's version of life that doesn't matter because we're gonna die, and it's not gonna matter 200 years from now because your great ancestors, what's called
Descendants.
grandchildren and
Right,
descendants,
yeah.
they ain't gonna give a crap about you. You're 1 in 16, 1 in 20. Like,
Yeah.
are they gonna really care? They're gonna be like, oh, especially if you get married to, it's gonna be like, oh, that's my one Sudanese ancestor.
I have a question for you, Emmanuel. Since you're doing comedy and you're like, trying to reach goals in your comedy career, do you find it hard, like in your dating life, for women to understand what you're trying to do? Because I feel like women, it's different if you've already reached your goal, but it may be a little challenging to explain to someone that you want to be with, like, this is where I'm trying to get to. I haven't got there yet, but
This is gonna sound crazy, but I've been very beneficial. I've been very blessed with the women that I have been around and
I
the
know that
women
shit,
that have like I've been with women who have been a lot more successful than me most of the time. Like, and a lot of times they're kinder and they've taught me things about myself, and I appreciate every single one of them, and they've pushed me forward. A lot of the times it's me dealing with my own insecurities about, am I the Stedman in this relationship? Like, am I the dude that's like, oh, he's the comedian while I'm a high lawyer, or I'm a doctor,
Yeah.
and I'm with these women. And I'm just like, you're amazing, and they're like, I appreciate you for saying that, but like, what is it? And that's the one insecurity that brings me
Yeah.
back. So I'm like, can I stay in this relationship? And then a lot of times it's hell no, nigga. I gotta get to the bag, and I can't. I can't
I
be.
think
with
that's
love
the
it.
thing for men
Feel it.
too. I don't know about being in a relationship where the woman makes more than you. I don't.
Oh, that's not the problem. I just want to be successful in my field.
No, I respect that,
Yeah.
but I do think that it does bring some imbalances within the
Mm.
relationship.
I don't care about the money. Make it rain on me,
I
baby.
wanted to ask
Definitely
y'all. I wanted to ask like the ladies in the room, like, how would they feel like if they were making more than their man?
please don't ask us. We already got in trouble.
I was gonna get in trouble. I'm weak.
We are not trying to get dragged today. But go ahead.
I feel it.
I mean,
I mean,
Not everybody nervous.
no, I feel like it's about being equally yoked with your partner. And I just feel like if I am working hard and getting to the bag and trying to like reach my goals and dreams, like I would expect to be with somebody who is at that level or above. So
Yeah.
to me, that's just not something
All right.
I'm willing to even entertain, to be honest.
I feel that.
Mhm.
I think
Oh,
your
wow.
age too. I think if you're in college or like early 20s, then yeah, of course, y'all could build together and grow together. Once you get to, I think, past 25, 30, early 30s, no. I think that
Damn.
you got to be at the same.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
Whatever she has, she's going to expect for you to at least have the same thing. You don't got to be like a millionaire
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Yeah.
multiple six figures, but I think you should be able to maintain yourself.
And that's why I say I'm blessed, because thank you all that have been with me.
And I think that's the misconception. I think that people think that women just want to be with someone who has all this money, but I think that it's even hard, especially for Black women, to find someone that just has like the same,
Yeah.
or is able to
Mhm.
maintain themselves, like doesn't need help.
Yeah. But I think if you make a certain amount of money, like if you are like an extremely successful lawyer or you make a certain amount, then it doesn't really matter how much the man makes. Like that's why Oprah and Stedman work out, because she's so rich. Like what would it benefit her to be with another billionaire.
I mean, let's not pretend like he's not a
She's already a
multi-millionaire
billionaire,
himself.
right? So it's like,
or
I think,
ASAP and Rihanna. You have that case going on.
Exactly.
Right
Rihanna makes more money than ASAP, even though ASAP makes, he's doing well for himself. He's rich himself, but it's like you don't have to have the same level or the same. You don't have to be in the same financial
or
level
Ocho
that we
Cinco
are.
and Sherelle. If y'all have seen that,
Yeah, she makes more than him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, time out. Okay, I hate when y'all do this misconception thing. He currently is not making as much as she did, but let's not pretend like his career wasn't what it was, and he didn't help build that.
She
brand.
she benefits from being in a relationship with him. Obviously, it helps her business.
And his bank account is very different than her bank account.
I was about to say, his bank account different than like the average nigga too.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
But I think the misconception is that Black women want someone who's like, they want to work at McDonald's, but they want a 6-figure guy. But that's not. I don't think that's really the case for most Black women.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I feel like this is
the narrative,
a media narrative. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna. They're gonna make us seem like we want a certain way. They're gonna make it seem like y'all want a certain way.
But I bring them up because of the respect factor. I think that if the woman can respect the man, even though he might make way less than her, then I think that's a very key component. But also, the man be able to be comfortable and confident in his skin and not feel like resentful, because I feel like that can also, or feel emasculated sometimes. I think that's the balance of having someone who's confident in their, like Chad, who's like, I don't care, like right now my woman makes more than me. I think that's important, and that's actually attractive. But that doesn't always happen like that. Most of the time it's the opposite. Like the man will start to resent you or start cheating on you or whatever.
Okay, so a lot of the times I think those situations, it happens like this, where like a woman will feel like she can control you in certain aspects. Like let's say you're doing something for your career and you're like, I believe in this choice. This is the choice I make. And she's like, well, I think you should do this one. And I'm providing.
Yep, that's the respect part.
And that's the part where she has to be able to be like, okay, this is your career. You know this better than me, and you're gonna get it. And sometimes those choices will be conflicting. You'll be like, I believe in this, and I'm gonna make it work. And when it works, she looks at you and she'll be like, but I feel like it could work better this way. And you're just like,
that's
at this point,
problem.
This is the end.
It costs to be the boss. So if you want to be the leader,
what?
No, I'm just saying, because you like that respect. I feel like sometimes women can emasculate men, especially if they feel like you're not carrying your weight. After a while, I think they can start to kind of be disrespectful towards the man.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. It's natural, because if you're the one who's making all the money, and then
you feel like you're the man of the house.
So
I think strangely enough, I think those women aren't respecting the roles if they were reversed. So like, you would expect your man to respect you for what you do in the relationship whenever he's making more, right? And you would say, I'm doing equally as much as you are, and you don't see what I'm doing. Why is it that when you finally make the money, you don't see what he's doing emotionally?
But that's an issue as well when you look at traditional gender roles of like women being appreciated for doing the traditional, like the caretaking, taking care of the kids, cleaning, like that being viewed as an equal role. So I think it's just flipped in the sense that, okay, now she's making more money, but is he being appreciated for whatever it is that he does? Maybe not, because she doesn't see it tangibly as far as like resources being brought into the house.
Yeah.
And this is where we have to flip it with the idea of like, oh, now I'm bringing this man flowers. Telling him thank you for what you did, baby.
Do you guys feel like women should be more upfront with where they want their man to be financially? Because I hear like with some of my guy friends, like that women kind of beat around the bush with finances. Like you'll make up any excuse to like not be with this person, but it's really about the money. And no, you don't think we should be honest about it?
No, I think we should, but I don't think that should be a like hard conversation to have. But again, it goes with like not being upfront with what you want. Like for example, even the dynamic that y'all was talking about, like if you are a successful woman and you are okay with dating whoever you want to date, and it's not about the money for you, then that's your prerogative. But like you have to be able to understand that and like have that conversation up front. And I feel like a lot of people just aren't being true to themselves and being true about what they really want for a numerous amount of reasons. But that's how you end up in situations where like there can be resentment. There can be like a misunderstanding of like what the relationship is. But if you know what you want, then just choose that and don't entertain anything that doesn't look like that. And I feel like that will make it a little bit easier, especially as a woman dating, to weed out your choices.
Hey fellas, can we be honest with ourselves here? All right, this is gonna sound crazy, but like when you reach a certain point, the options are very, very open, right? And I think every man knows this, that like you can have all these variables that I don't think a lot of black women have those same kind of options, or they choose to lock off a certain group of section. Like for us, we'll date the woman that's a barista in whatever, a 7-Eleven, let's go, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we're looking for not even the character, maybe the ass, maybe the body. Like I think that's where we get a problem is we're looking for like what looks good. And that's where we have this misconnection of like, you got to know your role, know where you're at, and your friends will tell you. Thank God for my friends because they told me straight up, they're like, nigga, you can only get this.
Oh my God.
Get your shit together. And that's where I think as fellas,
this is crazy.
we tell each other the truth. We're not going to lie to each other. We're not going to sugarcoat shit and be like, dog, you're with a good girl right now. Yeah. Stop it. You're letting the internet tell you what your options are when the truth of it is your options are right to fuck here.
I mean, I think
that's real though.
As a man, though, I mean, but a man doesn't really look for anything outside of like what he can see, though. You know what I'm saying? That's why everything that's marketed to a man is based off what he can see. Lingerie, shit like that, nice cars. For a woman, that's why anytime, you know, a girl meet a man, the first thing they'll ask, oh, girl, what do you do? A man don't give a shit about what you do. First thing, if somebody, one of y'all show me, hey, bro, I'm talking to this girl, what she look like.
Yeah.
We can worry about what she do later on, what she look like right now, though. But
that's true.
I think it's different from men and women. But even on the aspect we was talking about, like them having a pics, I'm gonna say this, y'all correct me. Right?
Oh,
but
You about to say something? I want to hear this.
I can't wait to get
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk with me. So okay, boom, right? So off the rip, y'all type with. Do y'all feel like I have a type?
No, I don't think I have a type.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Like
cool.
as far as look,
Like physical?
Physical.
Yeah, no,
Physical. So do he gotta be above 6 feet?
Taller than
preferably.
Yeah,
yes.
taller than
Yes.
me.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yes.
taller than me.
Half gone already.
We not that tall.
But huh?
We not.
Man, it's a lot of it's some short people.
Yeah, they Sudanese though. They 6'7" and
They
14.
about half the men. Then
That's
y'all,
true.
y'all don't want them obese, right? Y'all want them at least somewhat healthy.
You
somewhat.
don't.
Yeah.
That's probably 1/3 going right there. You know what I'm
What's
saying?
obese?
Then y'all want to. No offense, bro. You look awesome, my brother. look, but then
I'm very
but then you have but if you want to make 6 figures, y'all down like 5% of men y'all can choose from.
That
you know what I'm saying?
available.
Because the ones that probably look physically appealing, they may not make 6 figures. The one that makes 6 figures, some of them don't like women, or they just
shit.
don't look the best. You know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all.
Oh, do you want them to keep their hairline?
Boom. Then we gotta start talking about that, how they look, you know. So I think that's where the misconception comes from when it comes to a woman's pick, because sometimes it may come off as y'all have an unrealistic expectation. Not saying y'all do, but it comes off as
fair.
Yeah, that's
as
fair.
such. You know
But
what I'm saying?
can we stop lying? Like the truth of it is, the internet is bullshit. Because like every day we get up and we've seen the relationships that our friends are in and the happiness of it. Usually the happiness is when people finally realize I'm here and I'm with the person I need to be with.
No, for sure.
Like let's be honest, man. Like the happiest relationship I ever been with was with a person. Damn. Never mind.
On yourself, Emmanuel.
You know he going through it this
Right.
week. It's okay,
Don't-
bro.
please.
No, it's all right. Don't,
okay, don't cry.
I'm not
start
gonna cry.
crying.
I'm not gonna cry.
It's okay.
But it be those unexpected relationships where you like, this was my homie. I ain't really see her like that, or I ain't really see them like that. But y'all both had similar goals and you had similar aspirations. And I think that's why we date within our fields, right? I think that's
true.
probably the best mode or operation that we need to get into. Now, if you're in entertainment, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, no,
I was
That's
about to
what I was about
say,
to
shoot
say.
your
I don't
shot.
think so.
Take one of them Steph Curry's from the half court. Shoot your shot.
Yeah, shoot.
You never know. I think most women, even like the ones we consider like 10s, right? For us as a man, if we consider them 10s, most men are scared to approach them because they feel intimidated by whatever their social status may be or the way they may look. But
Yeah.
most of the time, they are happy to know somebody is not afraid to like, hey, how
Approach.
you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think for
shoot
me,
your
like
shot.
I was about to say to piggyback on what he's saying, bro. Like whenever it's hard like on social media to shoot your shot at like a 10 out of 10. But you see her in person, you shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna say she gonna go automatically, but she gonna like the confidence. If you got that swagger or something, she might fuck with you. I might not be physically her type or nothing, but like she probably I ain't gonna lie. I might be a type though. I might be a type though. But nah, like I feel like what bro's saying though, like if you go up to a girl, it's probably easier to shoot at her in person, no matter how she look and stuff.
And honestly, when you're in your bag, like doing stand-up comedy, I think when I'm on stage and I'm like performing and I'm killing the crowd, I know when I got somebody.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And after the show, you already know. It's like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. Oh, you with a man? Oh, you single? Yeah. All right. I got another show coming up. Pull up. And then.
Oh, you know what, Amanuel? You're very charming too. I think that's the thing. You're very charming.
A girl's girl.
Yeah, you're very smart. You're pro women, so you naturally have that.
Sudanese Saucy Santana.
So it's not always.
All right, so I got a question. Like, all right, so because we were talking about like how like I guess with like content creation, like how they got the podcast, y'all got y'all's podcast, stuff like that. Me and him, we do comedy. So like, if y'all see like if there's a guy like kind of talking to or whatever, right, and like a woman of y'all status kind of, or like let's say, I don't know how much I remember, but let's say a woman like making, she's a boss, you know what I'm saying, she got her corporate career going on, and she's talking to a dude who like he's a content creator. You see that he's consistent, but he clearly isn't famous yet. But you know what I mean. But you see somebody that they're consistent, they have a clear game plan, and I go to the shorty like we're dating, but clearly my money might not be as good as her. She may be making like 80, 90K a year. I might be making like 50, 60K my 9 to 5, but or with my content on the side, you know what I mean? How will y'all still give me the same respect? Because like I know earlier I said it's going to be a little bit harder to respect. Maybe it might be a little harder to respect a man earning less. But y'all, if y'all see that he has like a clear vision, and y'all see like the hard work and the grinding, and y'all see that like, you know what I mean, like the potential's there. Are y'all going to respect him more or something, or like?
I feel like there's a history of women who have fallen in love with potential. So I feel like time again, and even like sacrifice, like women, just like even with you and your wife, like it's not nothing new for women to sacrifice for their man, to like believe in their vision and trust that what he says he's gonna do it. And maybe not all the time it comes to fruition, but I feel like that's like a tale as old as time, where women have stood behind their man and said, okay, I'm like, show me that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. Yeah. So I feel like you or anyone else that has that story is going to have success.
For me, I don't really care to date right now. Like I'm really not. Everybody asks me all the time, when are you going to date? I'm like, bro, I'm not thinking about cuffing a girl right now or nothing until probably like 2-3 years down the road. I'll think about it. I
think it makes sense with where you're at in your life. It's like you're trying to build yourself. Yeah.
But what I was gonna say,
be careful because they will come.
Then let him come. Then when he builds himself and he becomes this like next level comedian, then he's gonna have
better options though. I feel like that's what men should do. But don't you think that's
gonna be? It's like you're gonna get the.
No, I feel like at when you're in your early, I don't know how you look.
I just turned 25, so I'm kind of
old now. So he should be working on himself, building himself.
I guess it's like then the question will be like, how do you know if the person wants you for you now? Because now you.
That's what I was about to say. Like,
question.
I was about to say like, how do y'all like for us? Because we're talking about like content creation, entrepreneurship, like because for me. I know I don't want to necessarily date right now, but at the same time, I don't want it to be to the point where I don't want to start dating at the point too, or like if I'm like super successful, let's say I'm on like some Dave Chappelle or just like Drewski or some crazy shit, right? And if I'm single, then like why would I want to find somebody then? Because like how do she, you know what I mean? And I understand what you're saying too, like when it comes to the y'all waited on the potential of a nigga or something, it didn't go through. I don't think that. I feel like. If you wait on the potential and it still didn't go through, I feel like one thing I learned in life is if you had pure intentions, and if it doesn't go the way you wanted it to go, I feel like it's not a bad thing. Like even though you're going to learn from it, and I understand, like you know what I mean. Like damn, I might have been heartbroken by putting in my energy into somebody that said he's going to do this and it didn't happen. Now it depends. Maybe like if he was just bullshitting, that's one thing, or like something might have happened, it's another thing. I understand that, but I feel like. If a man does get to that certain higher quote unquote status or whatever, like why would he want to find a girl and settle down then if she wouldn't want to be with him?
So I'm gonna turn back on that by saying that you can have respectful and amicable pauses in relationships. Like you can end relationships where you're still respecting that person
Yeah.
and respecting their boundaries. And later on in life, if y'all are still in a situation where you can be like, oh, I remember she was rocking with me when I didn't have anything, she was with me, and I can reconnect that. Like
Yeah,
that's
true.
okay. Like we pretend like that's not really that doesn't happen, but it happens all the time. Dudes will have like love stories about, oh, I was with this person for a while, then we did what we need to do, and now we came back, and now we're at the same
I
spot.
don't know, Janet.
Great.
Janet's not a
But I think
Timing could be
Janet.
But
just
ladies, I think he
timing.
was
That's spin the
asking
Yeah,
us
us.
Oh, yeah.
specifically.
Spin the block.
We
Yeah,
just
spin
dodged
the
that
block.
question. Yeah.
Oh, you want to answer him?
Oh no.
Would you date a lower like a content creator that's on the grind? No, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Nah, exactly right. Lower tax bracket. They say lower tax bracket. Lower tax
That's not what I
bracket.
meant.
A nigga lower
I meant-
tax bracket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's,
like-
that's the right word.
On
Okay,
the
I'll
wave.
say for me,
Yeah.
I think that you have to believe in the person. If you don't believe in them, then it's not going to work.
Right, exactly.
And I think it also takes those hard conversations. I'm non-confrontational, but I think that you have to have the hard conversations to make sure y'all on the same page constantly, to where that person can know, okay, he might not have it right now because as an entrepreneur, like your income fluctuates. So I think you need to be able, and it's hard for men too, because it's hard for a man to come and say like, I'm effed up right now, whatever. I think if y'all can have those hard conversations, y'all can make it work, especially if she believes in you.
yeah. And what kind of
Yeah.
content are you making?
Yeah, like what
Yeah,
are you
that's
doing?
true. Yeah.
Is you have a plan? Are you consistent? Like, does she see you showing up consistently?
Yeah.
Or are you saying like, oh, this is what I want to do when I want to do, and then you like half-ass it every now and then?
Yeah.
And you're like, but this is my dream, and it's like, no, get a job.
Yeah, then
You
what's
know?
your pivot?
Nah,
If social
facts,
media doesn't
facts.
work
Yeah.
out. You know,
Yeah,
just
that's
like and what's your game plan if things don't work out? You know, I think those are important conversations.
Because
to
women
have with
are
someone.
supportive of their man.
I
They
agree
if
with
they
that,
love
too.
you and believe in you, they will stick it out with you.
Yeah.
But history has shown that that's not always the best bet for women, because like maybe they make it and then they get a younger woman or different things. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of different factors.
Yeah.
I love
like-
a corporate man personally.
Yeah.
I love a 9-to-5er.
What do you think? the
I think
ladies?
even it goes back to what Janet was saying earlier about like you choosing how long you're willing to like suffer or sacrifice. Like you can be like, okay, I think it's reasonable to be like, okay, like this person, they're working on their career, they're consistent at it. Even like saying, I'm gonna give it 3 years for it to pick up to where I don't have to work if I have to, if I don't want to. You know, like you know, so just that's just a random number. But like I feel like it's important, like Christine said, to have those conversations and also like have those goals. So like let's say it doesn't work out, you do have a plan in place, because people can sacrifice and suffer. Not suffer is a strong word. People
Yeah.
can sacrifice in a relationship, but for how long? You know, everyone knows when someone's pregnant, you're gonna have, it's 9 months and then you're gonna have the baby. So like just knowing that this is not gonna be forever. You're not gonna be married to a struggling artist for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's just a season. So
And to piggyback on that, I feel like it's also depending on where you are in your life. Like you said, you're like 25.
Yeah.
Like if you would have had this conversation when I was 25, I'll be like, okay, maybe,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
that's true.
it's a little different.
Yeah.
But I think where I am now, stability is very important
Nah,
to
I
me.
feel that.
And if I can provide my own stability, if I'm with a partner, like that is like a non-negotiable.
Right.
So I feel like, yes, chase your dreams, but you have to have a clear plan. Like we're not out here playing no more. Like these hoop dreams, these rap dreams, content dreams. Like I gotta know what you want to do, and
Right.
like
Yeah.
at least have a clear plan towards it. And it's no problem, like Christine said, about like being supportive, because we all got to start from somewhere. But it's a matter of like we're not wasting our time here, and
Yeah.
I'm not like supporting something that's not going to go anywhere.
I
So
want to ask y'all a question, because y'all like younger women, you know what I mean? I don't want to put y'all age
Thank
out there,
you.
whatever.
Yeah,
you
please
know,
don't.
Thank
Nah,
you.
but
Thank you.
y'all are younger women. Do y'all feel, and y'all look like super successful too, you know what I mean? So do y'all feel like at y'all age, the dating pool is hard because the men aren't meeting you guys' standards?
I think
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
not
don't
for
think
me.
so. That's a great
No.
question. That's a good one.
That is
That's
a really
Yeah.
good question.
Because I hear a lot of guys that single like, man, I'm having a hard time dating. And then I hear a lot of women saying the same thing. And it's like the men that I hear say that, like a lot of them, they're like building.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
women that I hear say that they like already established and they like from 30 to 40, like houses and cars and careers. So it's like, man, where's the imbalance? You know?
Yeah, I hear that a lot too. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard, honestly. I think if you're just realistic with what you want and honest, I've always dated.
Honest.
Yes,
Honest.
honest. Yeah, at all. And just being with somebody that's stable. I think there's a misconception that maybe we all play a part in, that like there's not any stable black men. Like, oh, the black men are not making enough money. But I do think there's a lot of black men that are making good money. They're probably not going to make like, you know, the top. Not everybody's going to be in the top 1%. You know, but if you're, as long as you're not
Trade
looking
school.
for, you said what?
Shout out to the
That's what I'm saying.
tradesmen.
Trade school. Then you can
Yeah.
get a successful man that's like making a stable income, and there's a lot of them out there. So it's not hard. I don't think it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I
so.
think it's hard. I think
Okay.
Fair
enough.
I think the climate, the dating climate in general has changed so much in our generation. I think it's just harder to build genuine connections these days to where people will tell you up front what it is that they're looking for and not tell you what you want to hear just because they know if they tell you the truth, it'll like you won't want to deal with them. So I feel like with social media and like the way that there's like this illusion of options, it's just made it to where we no longer value like marriage and partnership and building families and certain things. And it's just hard. I hear a lot of horror stories online from men and women. And I think it's just based on the way that we're dating now. There is hope out there, but I can see how a lot of people our age can like start to give up like after a certain amount of bad experiences.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I have a question for Dion. Since you're the only one married here, anyone else in here married? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're getting there. Yeah. but so I feel like there's like a anti-marriage climate nowadays, especially on social media. For I don't know if it's just mostly black men or just like us black people
There's
in
a
general.
group of men,
Yeah, that's just like marriage doesn't benefit men anymore, or just doesn't benefit anyone. How do you feel like you benefited from marriage?
Ooh, good question.
Dang, it is.
No, I try. You know
I mean, for me, I'm gonna be honest. I just realized early, like I knew my wife was smarter than me. I'm just like that was the number one benefit. Like I'm gonna be so my freshman year in college, human development. My teacher was like, look around the classroom. It's going, it's a lot of kids in here. He was like, 60% of these kids you're not going to see in 4 years from now. He was like, and it's not because like they're smart or they're not smart or whatever. He was like, it's just some people just don't have the willpower to start something and finish it.
Yeah.
And when I realized like she was on that same journey, and for me, I took that as like, okay, I never started anything and just finished it in my life. So I'm gonna be honest, I always attached myself to females to help me. Like I had a female to help me with my homework. I had a female to help me.
Yeah.
Like I'm being honest, like that was my game plan, because it's like I realized like a guy, I can call my partner and he'll be like, hey bro, give me a ride to work. He gonna say, give me some gas money. But if I call you and say, hey, give me a ride to work, you just want to be in my company. We just having good conversation. We may stop and get something to eat. We vibing, right? So I realized that, and when she like was doing that for me, I was like, whoa. So what benefited me was the fact that I knew she was smarter than me, and I knew if I brought an idea to her, she would build on that idea. And that's what I think the thing of it is, like, when she bring me ideas, like I want to build on hers, and when I bring her ideas, she can build on mine. It's like if you bring somebody an ideal and they just shut it down and don't give you a solution, it's like they just leave you hanging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been in relationships like that where you bring up an ideal and it's like, nah, that's not gonna work. It's like, okay, well, what will work? You know what I mean? And what worked for me was having someone when I say, hey, I want to do A, and she like, well, you can do A, but what about B and C? And then I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me try that. And so to answer your question,
I love that.
just me being able to pitch ideas to her and her build on them.
Yeah.
That was the biggest benefit in marriage for me. And the tax benefits. Listen, man. Y'all, listen. Man,
Talk
the
about
tax
it.
benefits go crazy. If you listen, y'all, entrepreneurs, if you're an entrepreneur and you're married, oh my gosh. And if you think about this, if you're an entrepreneur, you're married, and you have a 9-to-5 where you make really good money.
Yeah.
Oh my, come on, man.
Yeah.
Taxes go crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Love that.
yeah,
Love
so like marriage it's a benefit. It's a
Can I ask you one more question just to round this out and give us some hope up in here? Because
Yes.
you know, a lot of us still want to get married and have families and stuff. How did you know? Because everyone says that, you're never gonna be 100% ready for marriage, and you got married at a young age. So what was it for you that made you be like, okay, I'm ready to take this journey?
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't ready.
Mm.
I was in college. I was thinking that me and my wife was gonna date. We were gonna be in college, and she ended up getting pregnant. And when she got pregnant, for me, it was like, we can either. I was like, listen. Let's not tell your parents until you like 8 months. Let's get an apartment.
Right.
Let's keep going to school. Let's kind of put it off, and we'll show up with a baby. But she wasn't raised like that. She only child, mother and father in the house. She was like, no, I can't keep this from my parents. And she had standards. She was like, and I don't want to live with you if we're not married. So I was like, you know what? We're going to get married. And
I like her.
Even though we didn't know
that pushed you, her setting that standard, like you have to do this.
Yes. She just made me, but like before I met her, I just didn't have it all together. She like just really helped me grow up as a man, you know. And us having a child early, getting married early, we was just forced to do things early, and we just had to learn, and things came and we did it together. And for me, that helped me, because if I would have had to go through all this stuff by myself, I probably wouldn't have made it. I moved out here from Alabama. I probably would have moved back to Alabama, and you know, who knows. But just having she pushed me. She really did. And then, like I said, when she told me she was going to quit school, and she had to go back and think about telling your parents that, like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant.
Only child,
yeah, and you know, I was on the path to do this, and I'm not going to school anymore to support this guy who you don't even.
That's a sacrifice.
That's a sacrifice.
Yeah, I love it. That's amazing. That's a good motivation to, you know, keep hope alive with marriage and love. Yeah. So.
Well, we want to thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank y'all for having me.
We really enjoyed being on yours.
Yeah.
And where can we find you guys? Where can we support you guys?
Man, y'all can find us on Instagram at Can I Be Real Productions. On YouTube, Can I Be Real Productions. Wherever you stream your favorite podcast, Can I Be Real Production. Me personally, D Under Motivator, go to my page. Also go to Amazon, get the book Transform Your Life. It will literally transform your life.
I love it. Yeah.
I am King Mozzie on Instagram. King Mozzie on YouTube. Yeah. I'll transform your life too.
Yeah. What can we expect from you guys this year? Like, what are y'all trying to do this year?
Man, we got a tour coming up.
Ooh, that's exciting.
In March. Yeah, we fund this shit ourselves. Boy, if y'all want to donate, y'all.
For real.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Where y'all going? Do y'all know right now?
We got 3 places: Atlanta, 4: Atlanta, Alabama, Houston, and Austin. So
okay,
love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Y'all inspiring us so much, and thank you guys for coming on. We learned. So I was like, they had a photographer up in here.
Yes. She told me. I was like, what?
Like, I was like, they had a full production. So it's really dope to be able to collab with you guys. And obviously, thank you to our panel. You guys are always amazing. We love you guys.
We appreciate y'all. Make sure to check out the episode that Janet and Christina were a part of on their channel.
It's
dropping tonight. So we'll make sure to put the link in this episode. So yeah, love it. Thank you guys. This is a good conversation.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye.